Hello, hello. Hello, Gao. Hello, Mutton Tepik. Welcome, welcome.
Hoi!
Hello, Whisper. Hello, hello. Let me see. A bit of a late stream today, but I've actually got quite a lot of things done already. So I'm just gonna do some commission coloring today. What is this one? What? Okay, this one. Where did all the magnet lights come from? It's this layer. Put them out. I'm watching three influential art streamers. Oh, okay. Who are they? Okay. I don't think I've heard of the other two that you're mentioning. Oh, actually, I was like looking up like who are streaming in this time period just now, and I think I stumbled onto both of them. I checked out a little bit, and then I just like they didn't really draw that much in that time period, so I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go stream on my own. Didn't stay for too long. Hello, Max. This guy looks handsome. Oh, okay. I think it's supposed to be like a Velociraptor merged with like a Grovyle or something. It looks pretty interesting. So yesterday I finished the cover page for Volume 3 of Tales of Elysium, and so I also got the prologue script done already. So sooner or later I'm gonna be like working on some comic sketch pages on maybe on stream as well actually. So that's something to look forward to. Hello Ninvi, welcome. And oh, and also I want to do some new emotes as well. I don't know, like there are 8 slots still for with both the normal ones and also the animated ones, so I think it would be cool to work on some new ones. How am I today? I'm okay today. I was feeling a little lazy, so I didn't start stream earlier. So I didn't like, I have to wait until I would like. This is probably already around like 1 a.m. for most Americans. It's also like super hot today. I have the aircon blasted on, and it's still like super warm in my room. Hello, Enko. Welcome. 7:42. Okay. I mean, for I don't know like which area is which, but like I think for most of the other ones, it's already like one. No, actually, nearly 1 a.m. Like 12:43 for them. Goodbye. I thought I banned them.
Hoi!
Hello, Busta. Hello, Arcus. Yeah, I want to ban, but like, how do I ban? Blah, 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 blah. Oh, okay, cool. All right, thank you. Yeah, I was looking for the quick button, but I didn't see it, so I'm like, I was confused. Also, just click on the name. That's where the timeout is. It. Um. Oh. Okay. I see. Like when I click on people's name, it just says like the counter for muting and bans. So I didn't know that. Like, is that where the quick buttons are? Thank you for the follow, Bravo Charlie. Welcome. Speaking of inspiration, I was like having this little discussion for myself for the past few days because like I've noticed like people all around the internet or like just in general they don't really understand the differences between like taking inspiration and then there's plagiarism, like copying ideas. Like I don't know if like people know where the line sits, and admittedly sometimes it can be quite blurry, but there are cases where it's just undeniable that there are like cases of plagiarism. And I don't know, I keep thinking like because I know where the line is most of the time at least. Hello there. And I'm like, should I educate them? But then I don't know, like I just don't think they will listen. Hello fan. And then the other day I was streaming, right? And I was like rating someone. I'm not gonna mention the name again, but like it's after it was after the raid that happened, and then I was like looking around their channels and their banner and whatnot, and I found out that like the banner and their avatar are basically kind of like copying Void Hounds. um, I don't know, like both of them have like a white dog, and then even the channel offline, you know that little banner you can see sometimes when a streamer is offline. They usually have like a piece of art there to say that oh we're offline or whatever. So Void Hound has like this uh triangle on the banner, and it's like having this like little drippy effects and whatnot. And this other artist that we rated, they also have like something similar in style. It's like a wolf's head instead of like a triangle, and it's like also the same drippy thing. And
Hoi!
I don't know, like where does that line stand for this kind of stuff? Like I can clearly tell that like they're trying to use the same style as Fort Hound, but of course like it's slightly different. Uh, you know, speaking of try doing the solid white highlight you do on your art, work on my art. I love the way you're doing it. Oh, thank you, thank you. I hope you like enjoy doing that little trick as well. And it just like going back to the story just now, like it just makes me think like sure, like a lot of these newer artists, or I would say, or like people who haven't established their own style yet, they can probably still try to like imitate or like use the style of someone else's, but ultimately they still have to find their own voice. Like there are only so many things that you can copy out there, and people are gonna take notice. That ever since you told me about those lines you add to your art, I've been trying it here and there whenever I try. Thanks for okay, okay. I've avoided plagiarism whenever I can, as I dislike stealing others' art. Yeah, of course, yeah. Like that streamer didn't really like copy, but yeah, I can I can see where the the idea for the the channel banner comes from. It feels a little iffy. Hey, but like I'm not voice sound like so if they're not complaining, then who am I to complain? You know. What are bases? Is it like those like tracing bases? Essentially outlines provided for by artists for various species. Okay, so kind of like coloring books or something, I presume. That's certainly a way to put it. Okay, I see. I mean, those kind of arts are created so that like they're provided for the general public or whoever saw those art to trace them. And that is their purpose. So I don't see the problem there. But if we're talking about like a unauthorized tracing, then of course that's gonna be a problem. That's just gonna be a plagiarism, especially when you trace it and then you call it like you post it online and call it your work when it's really not your original work. It's the same like the argument people keep throwing out, like, oh, uh, when I ask you to design, let's say, a wolf character, like there are only so many ways that you can actually draw a wolf, and so that's why uh, these two products of like a wolf character come out so similar when that is not a valid argument because like there are actually so many ways that you can make a wolf character. Like for example, a different proportion. Like let's say one wolf character could have like a super buff upper body, or like the other one would have like a very slender build, or like even the main size could be different, or like the limb size could be different. But when all of these somehow, air quote, coincidentally become so similar that it's noticeable, then yeah, there's a case for plagiarism. I was actually chatting about this topic yesterday as well, um, and I realized the problem with AI, at least with like the argument of a lot of the other artists out there, is that AI, to me, I think it's actually the machine to do plagiarism. The problem with AI that a lot of artists encounter is that like is it's basically uh, a documentation of like everything that you can find online, and then it's gonna like use bits and pieces of different art pieces that it found outside, and then combine it into like what it's so called like a new product. That is essentially like plagiarism. And yeah, AI is basically the tool to do this kind of stuff. And I'm not gonna say like it's a like I'm not gonna say like I support AI, but I think there's a valid use in how people should employ AI when it does this. And the problem right now in the real world, where um, a lot of like big corporations are like encountering a problem when they use AI like this, is that they simply use the end product when they type whatever quote or whatever they use to generate AI art, and then they use that final product as what they sell to the market, when really you can use that kind of you can like employ the AI art process, but at the same time, at the end of the day, you have to kind of put the human touch at the end before you push it out to the market. And I don't know if it's just like costly, or people are just lazy and they rely on AI art to fully like make the final product, when yeah, they just like skip directly from AI to the market, when human still needs to be there in the middle. One of the malls here uses AI art in the website like blatantly. Yeah. That's just laziness, I think. Laziness and also probably like capitalism. Like they don't want to spend more money to hire someone just to like make a presentable product or something. But if you're gonna do that, then you're gonna face consequences. Like people are gonna notice. Companies are always finding a way to cut costs, so keep skipping the artist cut that cost they may seem unnecessary. Basically, I guess. Hello, Ethan. Thank you for the hydrate.
Hoi!
Hello, Ashi. I honestly hate the AI conversation as it drains my energy. Just talking about it, I have it muted on my Twitter. Yeah, there are a lot of topics like this, so, and I don't think like we can actually escape them because it's very topical and it's like a very real problem, and people just don't understand some of the terms and they just throw it around. Have you had art pieces corrupt or become unable to be opened? I don't think so. That just had to happen to me while I drank all the motivation I had to draw. Right, okay. I had my hard disk corrupt though. I guess it's like a similar thing. And so like after that, like I was mostly doing my comics and stuff back then, so if my hard disk just dies then I lose a lot of things. So since then I've been like making backups for all of my files, all of my templates, and not just like on my cloud drive or anything. I still have like my SD card on my side right now, and it contains all the like previous pages, all the previous templates and everything. And the hard disk thing actually like affected me twice as well. Back when I was like still using my laptops. was 2 hours in when it crashed and corrupted. Oh, that's very unfortunate. I don't think saving often would have like rescued that situation. It's not about saving. It's just like the file crash or something. It's nothing much you can do with like just saving a lot. That's also kind of why I don't like drawing pieces that would take me several hours to complete. There's always this lingering like well, will this file crash on me, or like things like that would happen, and I don't like that. So I try to like finish my art pieces very quickly. Oh, hydrate again. Thank you, thank you, Max. As a beginning artist, I hope this doesn't become like my traumatic experience, and I just become scared to draw longer than 2 hours from this point on. I don't think so. I don't think it will happen like too often, unless like if it happens too often, then that's like a problem with your computer. You probably have to like look into like fixing them or something. I think it was the programmer brought out the smoothing tool after dragging the eyes closer together, and the program probably freaked out and gave up. It might have been like too much to process or something. The huge code jar, I think I'll visit again sometime in the future. Probably, yeah. You can also like test out some brushes and stuff, like cause for certain brushes, maybe the ones, especially the ones with like so many textures and stuff, if you make the brushes too big, it will easily crash your computer or like your program as well. And usually I would test out brushes and try to avoid things like that. That we find all these brushes to save us time, not to cost us more time. So yeah, I guess next time you can like investigate those brushes, I guess. kind of have like I kind of want to like do more of those Pale World designs, redesign, or I should say. Like a lot of my friends have been avoiding the topic because like they said like they've seen a lot of like other artists or like Twitter account or whatever have been like even for the mention how well they will get a lot of flame. And fortunately for me, most of the responses that I've got for my redesign project has been very positive. Hello, Komi. Welcome, welcome. And I just want to like maybe do one or two more of those because like have my eyes set on like especially the one that is what is it called the Lycan Rock one, the one that's like basically a Lycan Rock copy, and then it's just like a wolf, and people are giving it as an excuse that like oh there are only so many ways that you can actually design a wolf, a main wolf, and so uh or like Nintendo doesn't own the idea of wolf or something, and so I want to like try my hand on like a that design, and then I don't know, like I think people are just like ignorant to the fact that like you can actually design the same prompt in different ways, and I think most people are quite excited that like oh um, you could actually like design a different way, and yeah, see how it goes. And I say this like not to bash Power World or anything. I just think that like Power World could have been better if they use something that's actually original. But again, like as we discuss in other streams or whatever, I don't know if I've actually discussed this on my stream, but basically like it might have just been like a marketing ploy that they use designs that are basically ripped off Pokemon's, and through that they can get a lot of like discussions for their brand. Like we see other games like a Temtem or like Yokai Watch, even Digimon, like they don't have like too many discussions. And I wonder if it's because of like this kind of like marketing plays that help boost a lot of like Power's popularity. But I have like the belief that like if you actually have like a quality uh, product here, I don't think you need to rely on something like that. A lot of the discussions out there are also like very heated in the same in the vein that like they're like super defensive like for both both franchises, for Pokemon and also for Palworld. But I think like honestly they both have like things that are wrong. Like we know that Pokemon has been like complacent for so long. They're just pumping out subpar products, and I will be the first to acknowledge that. But like, are we gonna steep so low like that Power World is going to copy designs from another like another company that's like doing not so great? And I just think that like Power World deserves its own identity, and it shouldn't just like copy designs from everywhere. It's hard to say for the situation as a whole. I don't think it's like too much of a hard situation, tbh, because like it really is. It just comes down to like it could have been better. I think Power World has promises for a monster collection game. It just struggles with carving its own identity. Its base is style on Pokemon, but didn't steal from Pokemon. This bit I don't really agree with. It also took some inspiration from Skyrim, Breath of the Wild, and Minecraft. Definitely. Um, I don't, I don't really like agree with that bit of like they didn't steal from Pokemon. In the sense that like yes, they did steal like the designs of certain Pokemon. As I was saying like earlier with like the plagiarism thing, just because like you pick and mash with like different little bits and pieces of like a Pokemon and make it into so-called air quote a new design doesn't mean that you're not copying or stealing from an existing design. Like they like very much could have done that, but then after that, like after you have like a mashed up design, you have to put your human touch. Like you have to change like little proportions here and there, and you can actually truly call it like a new design of your own. Not how they did it. Just copy and paste it. That's not a good way to do it. I really enjoyed seeing your rework of the Pales from Power. It's a breath of fresh air from all the hate and drama. I don't like Power, but it's also so tiring to see all the time. Yeah, basically. I heard people just don't get the idea that like I hate Power, or like I'm just like defending Pokemon blindly though. Which yeah, there are still people out there like that like who thinks that I'm doing that. But yeah, I don't put too much attention to those kind of people because like they clearly don't understand what I'm doing, and like they're not gonna be the crowd that sticks around anyway. So I pay them no mind.
Hoi!
Hello, Corda. I wouldn't say completely avoid conflicts. Um, my own stance about conflicts is that like if it's a conflict that would help each party understand each other's like stances a bit better, I think it's a worthy pursuit. But when we're talking about online discourses, especially when it's like under an anonymous situation, most people just say whatever they want to say. Like you don't need to you don't need to like how to say, there's no responsibility for you to like for whatever you have said online. And so most of the time it's just like not a conflict that is worth pursuing. Because like how easy is it to like for people just like put a comment of like, oh, I hate this, like you're an asshole, and go and X yourself, or whatever. It's so easy to just say whatever like that, and that doesn't promote any healthy discussions. And that's like probably 90% of the time for online discussions. But if it's something that like we're just sitting down and discussing what we think, and it's like a battle of like our own ideals, I think it's still worth like pursuing. But unfortunately, we probably won't see that online. The internet kind of makes people think you should pick a side on various things. I've never seen mediation respected in online discourses. Yeah, I guess. Whatever I did was kind of a mediation though. Like I'm not exactly like agreeing or disagreeing with what they did with like some of the power designs, but I'm offering like something that's like a bit more like an improvement, if you will. Like you could have done this, and it would have been so much better, and everyone would like it universally. Well, not I shouldn't say that because like there are people who just like blindly hate something out there. So yeah, at least like they can like it without any guilt. Let's say that. I was like this close to making a post about like the difference between plagiarism and then like taking inspiration. I'm gonna list out all the things that like oh, you can actually do this and do this, and then if you do this, then it's gonna be like counted as like taking inspiration, or like if you do that, then it's gonna be counted as plagiarism. But then I realized that there are a lot of nuances, and even if I do this, like most of the people who don't even understand the words, they're still not gonna understand me. So I'm like, whatever. I'll just like make the example of like a correct demonstration, if you will, and I'll like make my own designs of like some prose that I find to be problematic, and I'll just give people like a demonstration of like, okay, I have the same prompt. Like I still take inspirations from like some Pokemon designs, but I made it different. I hope people like can see the differences that way. Like, instead of like giving them like a like, incorrect demonstrations. And then people who don't get it will be like, oh, it's just like another another cat design, another like a feline design with like electricity like attributes or whatever. but they don't understand that like they I guess like that kind of statement already proved my point into saying like they actually didn't find another actual Pokemon that I somehow ripped off. Like I'm actually making a new design. They can't reference to an existing Pokemon with my designs. The same people argue making fan characters and making fan art of Pokemon PMDS plagiarism. There will always be people who refuse to learn what is an instant plagiarism. Basically, yeah. It's the same. I don't know. Like it's just the same as like people being like super political, and then they don't even understand what the word they're throwing out, and they just throw it out because it's a trendy word. Like there are some videos out there where people are just like blindly. I don't want to say feminists, but like I guess like it's more feminazis. Like there were just girls. I think in the video specifically, it was just two girls, and then they were being interviewed or something, and then the interviewer disagreed with like the girls' opinions, and then the girls just threw out like, "Oh, you're just being what is it called? Mis- misogynist? Yeah, something like that. Like you don't agree with me as a woman, so you're misogynistic." And then the interviewer is like, do you understand what it means? Like, do you understand what misogynistic means?" And then the girl's like, no, I don't know. Don't ask me questions. So I don't know. There are a lot of people out there who just like they get reminded of like a specific word that's like very trendy, and then they just throw it out without even knowing like what the word means. It's pretty sad, but that's like the kind of like society we're living in right now. But I think it's also like a good news, I guess, in a sense. For I don't know if like some of you guys are like that, but like some people get very easily affected by other people's opinions, especially when those are like online or like on their profiles or like DMs and things like that. Like this is a good news in the sense that like it just tells you that you don't need to care about those people's opinions, and you don't need other people's like opinion to validate what you're doing, as long as you believe what you're doing, and as long as like what you do, you know, of course is correct and not against the law or things like that. Oh, why am I suddenly preaching? Thank you for the hydrate sentence. So yeah, thank you for coming to my TED talk. I absolutely love a HR TED talk, especially with a soft voice. I don't I don't know what I would be talking about though. I absolutely love taking established designs and twisting them on their head. The cat cow design you redid was an example of it, as it took the cat bus concept and changed it to something new. Basically, yeah. Like, I referenced cat bus, but I didn't actually steal from either the cat bus and also Galarian mouth. And I think that's like the healthy approach of doing it. But people are still gonna say like, oh, you basically just like a change from ripping off Pokemon to ripping off the cat bus. And I'm like, sure. Like they just don't understand what like inspiration is. Like yeah, you can understand that it's like taking an idea from cat bus, but did you see actual cat bus elements on it? Like if you put them side by side, do you think that it's like a rip off? Like I personally wouldn't agree with it. Thank you for the follow, Tori K Ferrero. I think. Welcome, welcome. I tried today. Someone slides into my DM and starts accusing me of stealing my design for Kylie. I don't know. Pokemon Presents 2024 is in 1 month. Who wants an unhealthy amount of copy and that they will mention anything about PMD? I don't know. I don't even know like what they will provide us with Pokemon Day anymore. Like I don't have a lot of expectation with them. Like maybe we can look forward to Gen 10 being something that's actually great, but still I wouldn't give them too much credit. We can hope, but I don't think so. Like, it would have been a lot better if Pokemon was actually under Nintendo instead of under Game Freak. But we all know how it goes. I have my clown outfit ready. Okay. Imagine the percent is just Pokemon Sleep and nothing else. No, there's always gonna be like a Pokemon Go in there somewhere. Or like a Pokemon Master EX or whatever. Like games that don't no one really plays anymore.
Hoi!
Hello Hazy. What would be the dream thing that you guys would like the Pokemon franchise to do? Howdy. We're talking about Pokemon, what we expect from it, which is probably nothing. I'm just gonna ignore the spin-offs for a little bit here. I'm just gonna talk about like the main series. I personally want them to stop with like a new gen every certain amount of year kind of schedule. I want them to stay in Paldea, stay in Gen 9, or like go back to an existing region, and we just like we don't go to a new region, but we stay in a new stay in an old existing region and do improvements on it. Like let's say we stay in Paldea and we bring back Mega Evolution, and perhaps like add more Mega Evolutions to existing Pokemon instead of going straight to Gen 10. Notice what the games and movie AJ Knuckles Silver and Black and White 2 were peak in content with how much you were able to do. Make it but the story itself needs to be able to have a fine balance for both the target audience and those who are stuck with the series for a long time. Yeah, Didn't they try something like that on the Wii? Did they? I never actually played Pokepok. What was it about? You ever seen the old Pokemon movies? Those shorts that had the first generation team to the Pichu brothers messing with Ash's Pikachu? Pokeball was more along the line of that. Pokemon doing what they wish to do. Pokeball was sort of like that. It's the best way to explain it, correct me. Oh, okay, I see. So basically just like a Pokemon adventure in the human world, I guess. I guess like in a sense you can see a little bit of that in Detective Pikachu, I would say. It was in its own world without humans, just Pokemon having fun and living in their own environments. Oh, okay, I see. Thank goodness you're streaming. I just got rated into the most over-simulating stream, so many noises and chill vibes like this place. I see, I see. Yeah, like, yeah, we just like two different kind of markets, I guess. I don't get like those streams that have like they play like super long songs or like meme songs usually, and like all the voice effects and all the emojis popping up on the stream. I don't get those. So don't worry if you're here. I won't do those to you guys. This Grovyle's pretty handsome, yeah. You know those synchronized like Pokemon thing that we got in the DLC for Scarlet and Violet? I feel like that's kind of like a precursor of what we could have done. We could do in the future generation or like future spin-off games. Because like, I mean, you're controlling a Pokemon. That's basically what we do in PMD. Like, what if like for the next PMD or like a PMD like game, we're gonna be like controlling the Pokemon in the same perspective as we did in the Synchro Machine. I feel that could be pretty epic. The Synchro Machine is essentially the same way Pokepark played, adapted to mainline games. Oh, I see. Okay. Wonder if they would ever add the egg daycare back into the future PMD games. Do they? Do we actually have eggs in PMD? I don't remember that. Oh, oh, I remember. It was only the Menefee egg though. Like there weren't any like egg daycare in PMD. I don't think so. It was only like for that little mission with like Menefee. You have to take care of it, and then like it got taken away because like it has to learn how to be in the ocean or something like that. My Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon had eggs too. They can be found in dungeons very rarely or as a reward. Was it? I think I played through Super Mystery Dungeon like as a whole. I 100% did, but I don't remember any eggs. Like all the Pokemon you can just befriend. They're all already like on the whatever link map. Might be thinking about the orbs. Perhaps yeah, maybe it's the orbs. NC's hut in Sky was used to hatch eggs from respectable dungeons in which they were acquired. Huh, okay. I really do not remember any of that. Very interesting to know. Well, I can play games for a bit. Okay. Have fun and thank you for hanging out. Was that brush making those jagged scar? It's just like a scar brush that I found somewhere. It's like a Korean brush. You can find them pretty easily in the Clip Studio asset shop, whatever it's called. Just like type in scars or like blood or whatever, you should be able to find them. And then for drawing Kalini, she's covered in scars. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like these brushes really save time. Hard to say that my burnout to draw has now gone down. Managed to draw my Sora character. Oh, that's great. Usually when I experience burnouts, I usually just draw anything that's like super quick to finish. I think for me especially, it's just like the like telling my brain that I've completed something, and that will reawake my my drive to do stuff. Doing traditional artwork, then moving back to digital. Oh, that's nice. I have not been doing traditional in like a long while. That's not counting like some of these like just random, uh, like random pencil sketches here and there. I don't count that as like doing traditional like art. I'd like to know what type of Pokemon the character is. You mean the one that I'm drawing right now? It's a derivative of like a Grovyle, I think, and with some dinosaur, probably Velociraptor kind of elements to it. I'm not super sure. But it looks like a Grovyle to me, so. Are they like... Not quite sure. Oh, you can't see it at this angle anyway. That's fine. I thought it looked like a Grovyle, but I was afraid to ask. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's probably a Grovyle, but like just different color theme. For some reason, my mind processed the Grovyle was dressed like a bit like a Bowser with pants. Yeah, I guess I can see that. Mostly because of the spiked collar. Thank you for the hydrate, Hazy. I don't think I have time to do another commission after I finish this. Need to prepare dinner soon. Um, Tomorrow I don't think I will be streaming either, because like tomorrow is my mom's birthday, and gonna make a cake for her, and probably gonna be busy. Thank you, Kami. Remember that there was a big PMD community back then in DeviantArt. I don't remember the details, but it fell off. I'm pretty sure you're talking about PMDE. Yeah, lots of things happened there. It's kind of worm. That's the one? Yeah. I used to be a part of it, yeah. In fact, that's where my webcomic comes from, TBH. But we've since kind of like separated ourselves with the group. Mostly because of all the drama in the group, and we don't really want to get associated with it in any form. Oh, wrong button. I was more involved in PMDU, but that fell off after the first chapter. Yeah, I mean PMDU was basically PMDE. It was just like handled by another person. I joined DA after PMD kind of fizzled out, so I never got to experience the PMD community from that group. But I do know a lot of people who said they were part of that group or even involved in it. Yeah. I read your work coming from the Sleepless Skink production website. Yeah, there was a little group that we used to have quite a lot of friends from PMDE, and we all make different webcomics, and we used to all post there. But most of them have already moved on, and yeah, our webcomic is the main comic that is still uploading there. We do still have like new artists, like for example, Cringe Kobold has like his comic there now as well. I'm not sure about the other ones though. I didn't join the PMD community after I made Kailani, so I've only really been active on and after 2022. I see, I see. Yeah, there wasn't really any like PMD stuff after the whole ordeal. It's pretty a shame. Like as much as like how much drama like there were back then in PMDE, Um, there are a lot of like good memories as well, and that's how I know a lot of friends nowadays as well. It's a shame, like, but what can you do? Hello, Hayes. Welcome, welcome. Are you streaming today? Yeah. Nah. Okay. Maybe in 2 days. I see. I see. Yeah. The good thing about like the PMDE stuff is that they're mostly there to stay on DA. Like even my old comics, I think they're still on there. What do you guys feel about like all these like old arts that you used to have? Like, are you gonna delete any of them? To me, they're kind of interesting because like they keep like a process map, I guess, for me. Like back like several years ago, like my art has been in this kind of like level, but look at what I do now. You know, this kind of mentality. But for some people, like, it could be very embarrassing. Like they'll just delete everything they had before. I like them. I can see myself growing up through the art. Yeah, yeah, basically. It will be me in the future. I will probably delete all my current art. Really. When do you think the comic's gonna end? Um, right now we're working on volume 3. The volume 3 cover page is already done yesterday, so I'm excited to show that to you guys like probably in some time. But volume 3 is gonna be super long, and then if anything, the comic should have its end by volume 4 or 5. I don't know how long it will take us to get there, but yeah, the time frame is around there. I didn't notice till now, but my comics is in the rotating gallery. Yeah, basically anything that's like safe for work, I'll put in the recent art tab. Yeah, Tales of Elysium is gonna be huge. Sometimes I wonder how we do it with just like a two people. I do wonder sometimes, like, should I even hire people to help us like move things along and things like that? But then there's also a part of me like, can can we like trust people to upkeep that kind of quality or not? It's just gonna complicate things, and it's kind of like a passion project as well. And so we're not making that much, and then we're still gonna have to hire someone. It's gonna be like a hard time for both of us. Oh yeah, definitely quality over quantity, but at the same time, like sometimes I just want to move the story along. you know, I want to get it done. I want to get this like project done. I don't want to wait for like another 5 years or something. Mostly depends on what you'd want. Yeah, I guess. Which artist would you rather do? Do you see as a good candidate to help with the comic? If you don't mind me asking. Maybe just hire one more people if you are able. I don't know. I don't know if like I can actually name an artist to do it, because like I think if we were to actually hire someone to help us with the comic, it won't be anything that's like a super. How would I put it? Um, like it would mostly be like just like uh jobs like, for example, color in the characters, or like a draw the background for me or something like that. Because like the stories and stuff will still be controlled by Sly, and then I'll probably be doing all the sketches and stuff. The most time consuming part would be just coloring all the comics and stuff. So that would probably be what we're hiring people to do. And even so, it's gonna be like a, let's say I've already drawn the sketches of the characters. Perhaps like I can get someone to line it for me, or perhaps like I will line them as well, and then they just have to like do all the do all the base colors for all the characters and stuff. Like that would be like the job. It wouldn't be anything that like I need like a super high uh skill set of like from different artists. Hello, King Cole's art. Thank you, thank you. You're welcome to chill here and just look at stuff, I guess. Not super impactful in a sense, I guess. So basically a cleanup artist, kind of like that, yeah. It'll be like me sketching and then probably like lining stuff as well, uh and then afterwards, like after you get like the line art and stuff, like let's say for example, um with this art piece, it would be something like this. Like I drew the background a little bit already, I lined everything already, and then the artist that we're gonna hire would just like drop in all the color for me, and then I'll do the finishing touch. That's kind of how I would envision like what the whole process would be. That is if if we actually hire someone. All due respect, I'm really not all that upset with the current pace of the comic. I'm just enjoying it. Oh yeah, yeah, of course. Thank you for that. But like to me, I just want to like get the story moving. I want to get it out like faster. Also, there's a character that I get a feeling isn't gonna make it to the end. I'm trying that. I see. Well, we shall see. Gotta hit the sec now, but have a good stream. Thank you, Buster. Hope you have a nice rest. I mean, like in the future, I'll probably be streaming some comic sketching on this stream as well. So that would be probably something interesting to look forward to. And then, like maybe something that I can work on since I'm not satisfied with the pace is that I can probably like speed up my process with comics. Like I don't know, especially with like how much quality I'm putting into the comics. I feel like it's easy to say to speed up, but it's very hard to execute. Like I can envision if I'm not coloring the comics at all, then it's gonna be coming out a lot faster. Would you guys care for like just a black and white Tales of Elysium? Like even so, even if we're gonna give you guys like a black and white, like just like a manga style, you know, you still have to put all the half tones in and stuff, and that's gonna cost time still. So if that's the case, then why not like color everything in, you know? Unless you're working on a comic. We do have a web comic, so if you go down to the link tree, find the Tales of Elysium section. It's a Pokemon Mystery Dungeon comic. Actually, I don't know how to call it. Like, cause people keep saying that like our comic don't actually feature a lot of the game mechanics. So I don't know, but like the world setting is similar to a Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. Basically, like just talking Pokemon. So I guess, yeah, yeah, go and check it out, please. We currently finished the second volume, and we're working on the third volume. So there's plenty of content out there that you can check out. Black and white doesn't sound bad, right? I find halftones and hatching a bit harder for me personally. That's exactly the case. Like, black and white should be okay. Like, we can probably pump out pages a lot faster, but at the same time, it still requires a lot of work. And I would say it's like a completely new skill set of what I'm doing already. And I don't know if it's gonna be worth it if we just go like black and white. Cough plenty, yeah, plenty. Plenty is an understatement because there's so many pages out there. I think we counted last time. It's nearing like 900 pages, I think, if you combine both Volume 1 and Volume 2. So yes, there's a lot for you to read. Lots of entertainment. And given how we're working on Volume 3, I don't know, it might be another like 500 pages for Volume 3. Or even more. I don't know. Like we shall see. I've been trying to like get the pacing a little faster. I'm not talking about like how fast I'm like pumping out pages. I'm talking about like the pacing for events or like scenes in this discussion right now. Yeah, I've been trying to like make it a bit snappier, but still the amount of pages is just like so damn high. I guess it's not a bad thing because like it just means that you guys have more pages to enjoy. understand why folks say Tales of Elysium is in PMD. That doesn't make sense to me. I guess it's just because it doesn't focus enough on the dungeons. Even then, it doesn't make much sense. I guess it's because the comic is rarely in a mystery dungeon. Yeah, I think when people think about like a Pokemon mystery dungeon comic, I think what they expect is that it should be somewhat like a Let's Play or like a Nuzlocke comic. So they want something that features heavily the Pokemon mystery dungeons and then also like all the mechanics inside. But we're really not a Let's Play kind of comic. We're more so like just like a story heavy comic that just happens to use the same world building, I guess. If I would put it some like I think that's how I would put like the comic. So I understand where people are like when they say this is not really a PMD comic, but at the same time they have to understand where we're going with it as well, I think. If you just see people associate PMD with high quality story setting, I'd say it's closer to a fantasy shonen than something featuring actual mystery dungeons. Yeah, no. Like for us, I don't know, for me at least, like we're just like using the Pokemon mystery dungeon tag because we have like a world with talking Pokemon with no human beings. So that's why we use that tag. Like sometimes we will still have like Pokemon mystery dungeon stuff, but it's not like like an always thing. And we also don't have all the game mechanic stuff like what four moves does this character know or stuff like that. That is not very important for me at all. Especially when we have like a story driven kind of thing. I don't think like we need to care about like very um game driven mechanics like that. You're the first person to make me like Sandshrew. Okay. I mean, they're roly polies. They're quite cute. I've seen the PMD series as a sort of multi-layer story-based setting. One day characters would be relaxing another, just saving the day even outside of the dungeons. Huh. The TMD Senshu was pretty flipping cute. Oh, that's Andy actually. That's Andy's character that we are actually we're referencing. Both ST and Shrew. read Sandshrew and Andy and got confused. I got a Sandshrew OC named Andy as well. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a. I don't know. Andy is the artist's name. Or like a clockwork shrew. That's their username. You use it as a reference? I mean, I didn't change that much from the normal Sandshrew. Something about it seems nice. Okay, fair enough. It'll be interesting if you guys like do like a style study of, or art study of mine. Like I would be interesting. I would be interested to actually have a look. I don't even know what my style is sometimes. Like I know what some of my reference points are. Like I take a lot of like inspiration from Dragalia Lost, uh, I guess, and then and then what else? I don't know. But it's also quite different from Naoki Sato as well. Like my proportions and stuff like that, they're not very much the same. And my color usage, I think they can be vibrant, but sometimes I'm still trying to learn as well into making it more vibrant looking. Like sometimes I abuse the the layer additive modes too much in the sense that like it will make the color a bit too muddy. I'm still trying to learn how I can improve from that. Let me show how you do it by lighting. Oh, okay. The style inspired me to start drawing like in high school, and I'm starting up again with drawing after like 7 years. So we need to study your art and see how it is different from the artists I usually study from. Right. I mean, it's not just from me. Like, if you see any artists you like out there, you should always like try and do a little bit of an art study. See what it is from the style, like how they draw, that makes you like their art. And after you have identified that, you can probably steal it from them as well. Like I always say steal, but I mean it by like you can understand what kind of method they use, and then you can employ it into your own style or art. That is what I mean by steal. I don't mean by like tracing or like plagiarizing work and stuff like that. So yeah, for those people out there who don't understand what it means to do plagiarism or like inspiration, here is your definition. Like if you find a like a white lighting thing here matches with your style and you like it, you should definitely like steal it from me. You can use it. I don't mind it. It's not something that's like a exclusive to me. But if you, let's say you draw this profile character like the same, or I don't know, something like that, then that's not a good thing. After I'm done with the drawing I was working on and I was thinking about doing a study on one of your drawings. Right, okay. This is me yoinking all of HL's sketch skills. I see. I study some artists. One thing I'm working on is anatomy and loosening up my art. That's usually like a... I don't think you can actually get that from artists or like other artists. Like perhaps you can find like a sketching style that is more comfortable for you, but anatomy stuff is more, I would say, I'm losing my word. Wait, what I'm trying to say? Like fundamental skill. It's something that you can work on, like let's say if you go to those like reference websites and then it times you and you have to like finish a sketch within like a 30 seconds or something like that. And I don't think like you get a lot of that skill from a certain artist in particular. Like back then I used to do a lot of those studies by myself or with like a Kotsu and Arkibaki, and we'll just like boot up the little website and we'll start doing these like anatomy studies or like flow studies, things like that. And I credit a lot of my sketching and posing skills nowadays to those studies. I've been studying a sketching style for a bit and I think I'm beginning to make headway on that. I do need to do those anatomy studies you mentioned. Yeah, definitely. Your sketch so fast is always incredible to see. And most of the time it's just me exploring the shape languages and stuff like that. I didn't actually put a lot of thoughts into them, and that's why I guess like they seem very fast. If I got better with fundamentals is testing my memory, like look at a real life image for a good minute, then without looking at it again, try to recreate it. Stop once you think you're finished and then look at the image and compare to your drawing. Take notes of what you can improve from there. That's what seems to be helping me get better at memorizing how to do the fundamentals. I guess that's a good way to practice as well. Because like being a good artist also means that you have to have good eyes, good sets of eyes. And so that practice would let you practice on like a not just memorizing things, but also identifying what is different and what could use more improvements. So yeah, I would say that's a pretty good exercise. It can take me like 2 hours just trying to sketch something. Yeah, I don't know how you actually do stuff. I haven't fully seen the workflow yet, but um, from what I know from other artists, like you might be thinking a bit too much. Like I used to be in that kind of like workflow as well. In that like I want to make the sketch like perfect. I want it to be like spotless before I move on to something else. But afterwards I find like I don't always need to do that. Like it's just a sketch. I can always like change it afterwards. Especially when I used to like paint more like do my paintings more painterly style. I can always like fix the like what I have on the sketch with my final rendering layer. And so slowly I kind of just like let that kind of perfectionism go, especially with the sketches. And so that increased my speed. I do quick sketches, work with it and refine it. Yeah, takes me multiple days to finish the drawing. That's one of my poor habits of in sketching to the point I've practically drawn something twice over in full when I'm refining it. Makes it me slow. Yeah, it's definitely sometimes hard to just let it be. I think one important thing is just we always have to remember uh, the sketch is only like a sketch is only a great sketch if it conveys like enough information of like what the idea ultimately will be. But a sketch will not contain all the information that we'll get from a finished picture. It's just gonna be a fake idea, a roadmap, if you will, and it should stay that way. It shouldn't like you shouldn't try to finish everything in a sketch. That's not what we want a sketch to be about. We want the sketch to be something quick and we can convey the message or convey the idea. And it should stay that way. It shouldn't have to contain more than that. With sketching, I'm able to finish it in an hour or two, but line art is what takes a lot longer. And don't get me started on coloring and shading. Yeah. I personally love like the sketching stage the most. It's where I find the most freedom and like I can explore different ideas very quickly. What would your favorite Pokemon be? I don't think I've heard you say. That's because I don't really have one. Um, I've I've talked about this in the other streams. Like, I have this like thing about characters and Pokemon, whatever you say. But basically, like, I usually have no feelings towards them unless I have already drawn them once or twice. Like, I don't feel anything. But like, once I've drawn a character or like a Pokemon, then I have an experience with it, and then I would like form an opinion on it. Like after I've drawn them, if that makes sense. I don't know. It's a weird little thing. One example would be like Zapcrom. Zapcrom, I don't care about it. I feel it. I like back when I first saw it. I feel like it's a little too complicated looking. But then one time I had to draw it, and I'm like, oh okay, it's actually not that bad. I quite like him now. Things like that. But if you have to have me choose someone, uh, I don't know. I quite like ghost type Pokemon. So perhaps like things like Haunter. I quite like Haunter. In the morning, I must rest. Thank you for the stream. Take care, and everyone here to be safe. Thank you for hanging out. Hope you have a nice rest. I'm gonna end soon anyway. Uh, I'm about to be done with this picture. Just have to do some final fine tuning and like some highlights here and there. But yeah, thanks for coming. Alright, I think we're done. Give it a signature. Ooh. Yeah, I need to go and prepare dinner. But yeah, thanks everyone for coming. Do we have anyone that we can raid? Do, do, do. Ooh, Foxender seems to be sketching something. So let's go with them. But yeah, thanks everyone for coming. I hope you enjoy the chill vibe here. Go and follow my Twitter and everything if you want to know the first hand like a notification. But yeah, thanks everyone. Bye bye. See ya. Thanks for